Hey guys, it's Michael from newtohtml.com, and in this video training I'm going to show you how you can leverage browser caching for your website. So for those of you that aren't familiar with what browser caching is all about, let me just explain a bit. So caching basically allows you to speed up your website because the browser stores copies of the resource files so that it's much faster and much more responsive. So when you think about a website, when you actually visit that site, it has to load several different files. It has to load several different resources. It has to load the logo, it has to load the images, it has to load the CSS files, and it has to load the JavaScript files. Now this can be quite time consuming. It can take quite a bit of time, especially if you have a large type website with a lot of content. Now what browser caching actually does is it keeps a copy of all of those important resources. So when you land on the home page, it stores that cached information, and as you go from page to page, you'll see that the site loads a lot faster because it's pulling on these stored resources, these copied resources. Now how you enable caching on your website depends on the platform that you're using. So if you are working with a coded website, then basically you will need to edit the htaccess configuration file on your server. And if you're unfamiliar about what I'm referring to, you can always reach out to your web host. I know HostGator on SiteGround and Bluehost has excellent support, and they can help you to access this htaccess file. Now the code for this is actually found at the bottom of this article, and this is what you're going to basically be copying and pasting within your htaccess file. So all this is doing is telling the resources when they should expire and be renewed. For example, it's saying the JPEG images after a year. It's saying that the CSS file should expire after 1 month. Now I just want to make a little disclaimer regarding the expiration of the CSS file. Now if you set this for 1 month and you actually make a change to your CSS, you'll notice that the change may not be shown on your website when you actually implement it, and that's simply because it's accessing the older cached version of the file. So even if you make changes right now, it may take up to 1 month for you to actually see that change. So you'll probably want to keep that in mind. You'll probably want to set it from 1 month to probably 1 week, or 2 weeks, or 1 day, if that's much more convenient for you accessing the CSS file. So again, you just copy the code and you're gonna go to your FTP and access your htaccess file. And again, your host can provide all of these details for you. Alright, so I've already placed it in my htaccess file, and it's as simple as that. Now if you're actually using WordPress, there is a plugin available called WP Fastest Cache that easily allows you to enable caching on your website. You simply just click the enable button and check all the boxes that you require. Right, so you can see I have browser caching enabled, and so basically this feature will enable my pages to be cached. So again, the plugin is called WP Fastest Cache. You can go ahead and install it and activate it, and then enable caching on your website. One of the questions I get a lot as well is, what tool do I use to analyze the speed of my website? And that tool is actually called GTmetrix, and you can find that at gtmetrix.com. It's a lovely tool that allows you to see the speed of your website, and it also gives you suggestions on ways that you can improve the speed. So on the first analysis of newtohtml.com, I actually saw that the speed was really low, and one of the suggestions for me was to enable browser caching, right? So that's what encouraged me to actually go ahead and enable the plugin and get it working on my website. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. You can go ahead and implement caching and let me know how it works out for you in the comments. Alright, see you around.